Hi, I'm Madison and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my July TBR. So for my July TBR this month, it's ambitious. And it really should not be that ambitious because I have a fair amount of busy weekends in July. However, at the very end of July, I am going to Apollycon, which is a romance book convention, and there are a lot of authors that I want to read from before I go. So I've left it till the last minute, so I have to read them all now in this month before Apollycon. So they're all on this TBR. So I had an original TBR with books I wanted to read. Then I remembered it was Apollycon, so I had to yeet that original TBR out the window because I was never going to be able to do everything at once. So this is an ambitious TBR, so wish me luck. Now there is one book this month that I have to get to that is not Apollycon related, and that is A Taste of Gold and Iron by Alexandra Rowland. This is an adult queer fantasy novel coming out in August of this year, so this is my arc of it. Do I know what this is about? The answer is no. I saw Katie Robert rave about it over on Twitter and was like, I want to read it too. Plus I do actually trust Tor when it comes to fantasy books. Very few fantasy books have worked for me recently. Tor seems to be a solid choice. So we're following a shy prince, and to prove his loyalty to the queen, who is his sister, he takes responsibility for the investigation of a break-in at one of their guilds, and does it with the help of his newly appointed bodyguard, who is the coldly handsome Evermere. In this world, princes can touch, taste precious metals with their fingers, and myth runs side by side with history. Okay, sounds kind of cool. I mean, sounds like he falls in love with his handsome, cold bodyguard. I'm down for that. So that's what this is. I have high hopes for this. Fantasies haven't been working for me, but I just finished one that was 5 stars, and so I think this will be another 5-star. Fingers are crossed. Okay. Now, I did have other books I wanted to get to in the month of July. That's not happening anymore. So let's go into my Apollycon authors. So we're going to start off with the authors whose books I already own that I haven't read yet who are going to be at Apollycon. Now, the first one of those is C.N. Crawford, who wrote City of Thorns. They have another book that they wrote, but this is the shorter of the two of theirs that I own, and so they're going to be there. This book, this is the Succubi book. So this is about a girl who finds herself on her birthday waking up in a dungeon because she was captured by a sexy demon who thinks that she is her succubus doppelganger. And so when he realizes that she is not his succubus doppelganger, he decides to team up with her to get revenge. That's what this is about. It's super short, so I have hella faith that I can get through this one. Next author that's going to be there that I own an book from is K.A. Tucker. This is The Simple Wild. I was actually gifted this by Chandler for my birthday, I think back in like 2019, to be quite honest with you. So I've had this book for a while now, so she's going to be there. Very excited to read this. I keep putting this off, so I think this is going to be finally time that I do pick this up. This follows Carla. When she was young, her mum ended up, leaving her husband and fleeing Alaska to go live life elsewhere with her daughter. Now Carla has found out that her dad in Alaska is dying, I guess. And so she's 26 years old, she's living in Toronto, and now that she's hearing that her dad is dying, she wants to make amends with him and wants to finally meet him and get to know him. So she travels to Alaska to fix their estranged relationship. And it sounds like she then ends up meeting Jonah, who is the unkempt, obnoxious Alaskan pilot who keeps her dad's charter plane company operational. And so it's two of them having their romance. I'm excited for this. I've heard really amazing things. I literally haven't heard anyone not like this book, so I'm pumped for it. I have positive hopes, so that's another one that I'm reading. Christina Lauren is going to be there, so I'm going to read Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. This is the only book of theirs that I physically own with me right now. I do have The Unhoneymooners, but that's in storage somewhere, and so I'm not going to go actually I have another one. I have a different Christina Lauren. I can read either of these. I just remembered I have Beautiful Bastard. I got both of these. I'm going to read one of them. This one I know is super smutty and sexy. It says an ambitious intern, a perfectionist executive, and a whole lot of name calling. So it sounds like it is an office romance, which sounds very good. And this one is a second chance romance, and our main girl, her dad was like a world-renowned treasure hunter, and now she does like fake treasure hunts in like the desert with people, I think. And one of her like old flames ended up coming to do one of her treasure hunts, and then they end up rekindling their romance. So I'll read one of these two. Don't know which one yet, but I will pick If anyone's read one of the others and has like a recommendation that you think I should definitely pick up, let me know which one of those two you would better recommend for me. But Christina Lauren is going to be there. Actually, I almost forgot the last author that I do own a physical book of, and that is Kill the Queen by Jennifer Estep. This is the book I have put on my TBR multiple times and never gotten to. So in this world, there's like, so if I remember correctly, there's like a bunch of royals. Our main girl, Lady Everly, is 17th in line for the throne. And so everyone has powers in this world, but no one thinks that she has powers because her power is actually that she is immune to other magic. And so she's kept this secret her entire life. And then one day her cousin decides to kill everyone in line for the throne and massacres them and takes over. And as a result, Evie manages to escape and she ends up falling into a troop of gladiators and ends up befriending them and ends up joining this gladiator troop and becoming an assassin, I think. And then once she has kind of started to gain her footing there, she comes to the decision that she is going to go back and kill her cousin and take the throne for herself because her cousin actually killed her mum. You know, like the cousin killed the aunt and the aunt is our main character's mum, if that makes sense to you. So I'm really wanting to read this. It sounds really dope. I just haven't gotten to it yet and I keep pushing it off. So I have high hopes. I started it. I think I read the first chapter and I actually really liked it. So yeah. First we have, I'm so nervous for this. First we have The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This is a book, I'm not even going to explain it. Also because I don't actually know it. I know it's just it's a Raylo-based fanfic turned into a scientist romance. Everyone loves it. Everyone knows about it. I haven't picked it up because I was afraid that it was an overhyped romance book. But Ali Hazelwood's going to be at Apollycon, so I'm going to try and pick this up, and I will need to buy a copy in order to do that. But that is one of the books. We then have, I forget what the first book is in this series, Guild by Raven Kennedy. So she has like this massive fantasy romance series. I've seen a lot of people read it, a lot of people rave about it. So it's got kind of mixed feelings. Some people love it, some people don't. Each book seems to get longer and longer, and some people say that it gets better with each subsequent book. So that sounds really awesome. But this whole series is based on the Midas myth. And if you don't know the myth of Midas, it's the fact that King Midas asked for like magic so that everything that he touched would turn to gold, except for one day he ends up touching his daughter and his daughter turns to gold and it depresses him and X, Y, and Z. Now, do I know what this series is about? No. I just know that it's based off of that myth, and I know that our main girl character is actually fully gold because I've seen fan art. I've seen fan art and she is like that, she's gold. That is the extent that I know, and I'm actually interested in this series. I just kept putting it off because it never felt the right time for it, and so, you know, it's always when you're forced to read something that you find the time for it. We also have a book that I'm a little bit terrified of. And the reason why I'm terrified to read this isn't for a bad reason. I'm terrified to read this because I've heard that this series is very addictive, and when a series is on Kindle Unlimited and addictive, will binge the entire thing and ignore everything else. Because that's what happens with the Tate James books that I read. Now, if you're wondering what could possibly compare to that, Zodiac Academy. Zodiac Academy. Caroline Peckham and whoever the other person is, they're going to be at Apollycon. So I'm going to read Zodiac Academy. I'm terrified to read Zodiac Academy. Do I know what Zodiac Academy is even about? No. No, I don't. This is another one of those hyped books that people always talk about everywhere. I just know that there's magic based on the Zodiacs. I've seen a lot of really steamy fan art. I know that there's some sort of like a harem-based situation with different people. I just know that it's sex at an academy with Zodiac magic. I'm gonna have a lot of people watching this and literally cringe at the way that I'm explaining these things, but I sometimes think that the best way to go into stuff is blind. You know, like, am I wrong? No. So I'm going to read Zodiac Academy. I will be vlogging it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Maybe I'll make a vlog of like the most popular ones that are like on this list. Maybe I'll do a vlog reading Zodiac Academy, Ali Hazelwood, and the Raven Kennedy. Those seem like really popular books that you guys might be interested in me reading, but I'm going to do that. We also have Megan Quinn. Now, Megan Quinn is an author that I've seen a lot of people rave about. A lot of people love her. The only reason why I haven't read her is just because I'm lazy, basically. Now, I don't know which one of Megan Quinn's books I'm going to pick up. She has a really large backlist. She does have a book called The Highland Fling, which is a Scottish, modern day Scottish romance, which does appeal to me because I do love my Scots. But then she also has a book called A Not So Meet Cute that I know a lot of people rave about and a lot of people love. So I'm also leaning towards that. I believe that is like, A Not So Meet Cute is like a Pretty Woman kind of based story. It's about a girl, she runs into this guy one day. The guy's super rich and he asks to, you know, marry her because he needs her for some reason. And so, you know, I've got those two options, but I do really want to read a Megan Quinn regardless, and so this is just, once again, my reason to pick it up. And then I also really want to read Meet Me Halfway by Lillian T. James. This is the book that I keep downloading on my Kindle and then undownloading because I have other books to download instead. And so you're following Madison at the age of 16, she accidentally got #pregnant. And so then she ended up being a single mom. Her life kind of went to completely utter shit. Now she's at the age of 25. She's a single parent. She's working 3 jobs trying to make ends meet. And then she ends up meeting her brand new neighbor and a romance sparks between them. I've heard really amazing things about this. I'm so excited for it. And that's kind of all I know. I'm really excited for this one. It's one of the books on here that I have really been meaning to get to. I know I've said about a bunch of books, but this one I wanted to read without even knowing that like I needed a reason to read it. It's just because like it sparked my interest, you know? And the last author that's going to be there that I don't own a book physically of, but I actually already own her book on my Kindle, and that is going to be Piper Rain. She has a hockey romance called My Lucky Number 13. So you're following this guy, and for the last 8 games he has not scored a single shot, and so he begins to think that he's getting unlucky. And then on New Year's Eve he sleeps with this woman, and then the next day, bam, scores a goal while playing hockey, and he thinks, oh my god, this woman is now my lucky charm. And so he decides to track her down, and that's their romance. I don't know, like, what does he want to bang her each and every single time? Like, that's a bit strange, but like, okay. He's like, hey, in order for me to score in my games I need to bang you before. Could you imagine that happening? Sleep with the guy and the next day finding out, hey, so every single time I have a game, I know we just met last night, I know it was a one-night stand, but every single time I have a game we need a bang. I'd be like, bro, what? That is my TBR for the month of July. If you are going to Apollycon, please let me know if there are any other authors that you think I should read from. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please love it down below. If you want to see more of me, please go to my channel. And until next time, thanks so much everyone. Bye-bye.